YouTube show here, joined by the head coach and two players from the Mount Vernon Mountaineers, Zach Jones, Cale Miller, and also Coach Tom Cox. And for today's show, we'll be doing a season recap with head coach Tom Cox, as well as Zach Jones and Cale Miller of the Mount Vernon Mountaineers. Mount Vernon had an undefeated season, but they only had one loss, which came to Seneca in districts. So guys, what was the statement that you guys had throughout this 2019 football season? Start off with Coach Tom Cox.
Well, it was a great season for us. We guys worked super hard from the time the season was over last year. We lost to Cardinal Ritter in the semifinals, and guys just went back to work to try to get back to the state championship game. And we kind of used the theme over here about climbing higher, keep climbing, those type of things, as we are Mountaineers. And it's exactly the attitude that we had all the way through. It was a great regular season, undefeated, and just super proud of these guys.
Also, Cale Miller and Zach Jones, what was the statement that you guys had for this season?
Our standard, the coaches said it all the time, was leave no doubt. Whether it was in practice or in games, we just had to be better, had to be the best we could every snap and every rep, and that carried us through a lot of tough games and tough situations.
I definitely feel like we competed really hard through the season. Like we worked hard, like Coach Cox said, all year round. We practiced hard and we played hard. I think it shows what we did.
Did show you guys what you did there at Mount Vernon, and also in the Big 8. You guys were pretty much the kings of the Big 8 conference, but you guys did beat some teams. You guys actually beat a Final Four team in your conference in Cassville. And so, do you guys think you guys have had Cassville's number for the past few years or so, or do you think that the Cassville game that you guys played this season, was it a close game?
Well, we actually did not play them this year. Our crossover games from the east to the west were Nevada, Monette, and Seneca. And we were able to play Cassville last year in the district championship game, and we defeated them at that time, and which is always a challenge. Obviously they made the state championship game this year, fell short to Odessa, but what a quality program they've had, multiple state championships that they've won, and just the sheer number of games that they've won in the Big 8 throughout the last few years. They were on the west side, we were on the east, and we were certainly looking forward to playing them again this year, but unfortunately we fell to Seneca in the district semifinals.
Fell to Seneca in the district semifinals, but you guys would have played Cassville if you guys defeated Seneca. And so kind of scout me on some teams that you guys have played throughout the season in Monette, Nevada, Marshfield, Reed Spring, Aurora, Logan, Rogersville, Seneca, Catholic, and Hollister as well.
We opened the season at Monette, and we knew that they were going to be a great team this year, and they did not disappoint. It was a really hard-fought battle all the way to the very end. It was back and forth, and Monette scored with about, I think it's like a minute 36 to take the lead 21-14. We went into our 2-minute offense, and Zach Jones did a great job leading us down the field. Cale Miller, as you're talking to today, made a fantastic catch on the ground, actually. Went up high, guys collided, ball was tipped up, and he caught it while he was on the ground. Big play for us that extended the drive. We then scored with no time left on the clock in regulation, and we were down 21-20 at that time. We decided to go for two, and we ran a little trick play, leaked Cale out to the left corner of the end zone. Zach rolled to his right and then threw back across to Cale, made the catch with nobody around, and we won 22-21. It's just a fantastic start to our season. I'll let these guys tell you about their experience in that game. This is Zach Jones speaking first.
We knew what we had to do. They had a great D-line. We had to rise against them, and when it came down clutch in that last drive, we just had our standard. We felt the pressure, but we knew our job, and we did our job well.
We definitely started off slow, just like a normal start of the season. And the second half, we wanted to come out and just finish the job. And we got the ball with a minute and a half left. We drove all the way down the field and did what we were supposed to do. in times we needed. So really started our season off well.
Both of these guys just kind of refused to lose, and along with the rest of the guys, they just continued to make plays that may not have been there, but somehow came down with it, somehow put the ball where it needed to be, and our line did a great job of protecting in that last minute and a half. And I tell you, it was just amazing to see the joy on our players' faces. Our fans poured onto the field, and it was just a really cool start to a great season.
Felt like a college football experience down at Mount Vernon when the fans stormed the field after beating Monette 22-21 to open the season. And so one other thing is, like, what were some big keys that you had going into this season with your 10-1 season when you guys played against, once again, Monette, Nevada, Marshfield, Reed Spring, Aurora, Logan Rogersville, Seneca, Catholic, and Hollister?
I think one thing, and it was on the mind of everybody outside our program, particularly in the media and stuff, is that we graduated Will Boswell from the 2018 team. Will had been the two-time Missouri Class 3 Defensive Player of the Year. So it's tough to replace guys like that. We graduated 9 other seniors that were really good players as well. So there was a certain amount of uncertainty in our program, but we returned a core group of guys, these seniors this year, that had really gotten a lot of experience as juniors and took us to the semifinals the year before. So we felt very good about what we were getting into, but at the same time, the schedule that we play with all those teams that you just mentioned is really a meat grinder. And so you've got to be able to survive. And what's kind of cool is that we know, Cassville knows, Aurora knows, Seneca knows that whoever can come out of this district down here in Class 3 has got a great opportunity to make it all the way. 11 of the last 12 years, there's been at least a semifinalist in the state championship, and in the state championship game too, from the Big 8. And so it's a tough schedule, but if you can survive it, you can really do some big things with the teams from across the state.
Do some big teams from teams across the state. Now, same question goes to you, Zach Jones and Cale Miller. What was the definition of the season, or what was the statement that you said throughout this season?
Just do your job. We had great accountability with everyone on the team, high expectations, and just hustling every play, every down, no matter the situation on the field.
I feel like no matter what, even in practice with the JV or even with another team, there doesn't matter if they were good or bad. We competed no matter what, and we wanted to be on the field no matter what, and we wanted to beat anybody we played.
I think these guys really stepped up too. In the third game against Marshfield, it was a game we came out on top 18-13, but it was really a hard-fought game. And midway through the second quarter, we lost our tailback, Carson Bowman, who was an outstanding player. Carson had played slot receiver for us and then filled in at tailback last year when Boswell was out of the game. And so he's just a no other talent like him. He was a breakaway threat anytime he got the ball. Well, Carson suffered a torn ACL in his leg and was lost for the season. But, these guys, he was constantly at practice, getting these guys up, continuing to encourage them. And the guys just took the challenge and really just stepped up. Everybody just kind of turned it up a notch. We got 2 juniors that tried to fill the spot of Carson in the running back. That would be Justin Moore and Braden Martin. And they did a really, really good job the rest of the season. Got them some experience. Both of them were playing linebacker on defense. So that's tough when you're having to go both ways, especially at linebacker and at running back. You're getting pounded or you're pounding every single play. So good job by those guys to get us through the remainder of the season.
A good job for both those players to get Mount Vernon through the remainder of the season after losing their tailback, who filled in for Will Boswell last year. And so that is one thing, like when you're both playing both on defense and on offense, you're either getting a hammer or you are the hammer. And so those two players, they did, when they were linebackers, they were a good example of being the hammer on defense and avoiding the hammer on offense. That is a very tough job to do on the football field, if you ask me, isn't it?
Sure is. And you hit the nail right on the head with those guys. You know, this is a physical league down here. It's a physical district. And we kind of hang our hat. I mean, we do score points and we throw it around a lot, but we hang our hat on our defense. And we know that offense scores the points, but defense wins championships. And our defense is really strong this year. Just a great job by Coach Chris Johnston, who is our defensive coordinator. We got Coach Kalen Hayes, who is our defensive line coach. And then we had a newcomer this year, Caleb Kaysen. And Caleb coached our linebackers, so he had both Braden and Justin, and he coached Cale as well. Did a great job for a first-year teacher and coach, and we're just happy to have him as well.
And now Cale Miller and Zach Jones, what were your positions that you guys played for this season here at Mount Vernon?
I played quarterback, a little bit of outside linebacker. I punted when needed as well, too.
I played wide receiver, tight end, and I also played outside linebacker. And that's about it where I played.
Adam, both of these guys were great players. Zach was our quarterback, and he was the Big 8 East Offensive Player of the Year. And Cale was the Big 8 East Defensive Player of the Year. So it speaks volumes for those guys. You had Zach completed 170 passes out of 277 attempts for 2,130 yards and 24 touchdowns. He also rushed for another 216 yards and 6 touchdowns. While Cale, on offense, had 44 catches for 561 yards and 5 touchdowns. And then on defense, Cale had 86.5 tackles, had a ton of sacks, had 3 recovered fumbles, 1 for a touchdown. And just, you can see just from the sheer numbers alone how good both these players were and how instrumental they were in our success on both sides of the ball.
Now, Cale Miller and Zach Jones, for you guys, that you guys were the Big 8 East Offensive and Defensive Players of the Year. What does that say for you guys, and also what does that also say for the community of Mount Vernon and also Mount Vernon High School and the football program there at Mount Vernon?
It just shows the support we had. The line did great, the receivers are great, and our coaching staff prepared us well in practice and made it easy for us on the field. The community helped us out and was always there cheering loud for us and kept us going.
I will say that our coaches helped us out every week, especially on the defensive side of the ball, getting us prepared and making sure that we knew what we had to do, what our jobs were, and that really helped out a lot. And also, the crowd's always there, and Mount Vernon, I always think Mount Vernon's the best place to play because the crowd's always there and always wants us to win.
Mount Vernon is one of the best places to play here in Southwest Missouri, not only in the Big 8 East, but in Southwest Missouri. And so now we got to talk about the wins. What are the most important wins and also the most exciting win that you would say was this 2019 season?
I think the most exciting win was the first one against Monette. We scored. We got the ball down to the 10-yard line with 2 seconds to play, got the clock stopped, and we threw a pass into the end zone. Ray Gardner, the other wide receiver, caught the touchdown pass, and then again, you score with no time on the clock to get us within 1, and then we scored the 2-point conversion to Cale, and that was a super exciting game. But if you look down through the season itself, we had some other really exciting games as well. We had our first win against Seneca was a good one as well. They are a quality program. We saw that the second time we played them, but they have a tradition down there that's second to none. And that was a great game as well. We beat them 20-12. And then we played Springfield Catholic, who is a great team as well. We had beaten them in the quarterfinals a year ago. We played them 5 times in the last 4 years. and all 5 times we've come out on top. But also all 5 times the games have been decided by less than a touchdown. So it's a great rivalry there. It's always awesome to beat them. And those were a couple of exciting games for myself that stood out.
Also,
Zach, how about you?
I'd say the Monet game is one I'll never forget. Just the focus and the effort we had as a team coming down late when we had to win, when we had to do everything right. That's a feeling I'll never forget.
I'll agree with both these guys. I'd say the Monet game was definitely the most exciting game. But I will say the Hollister game was one of my favorite games I played in. It was just a lot of fun. I don't know why, I just love that game. So
I can tell you one thing about that game, the Hollister game, is we had a 4th and 31. We had gotten a couple of penalties and lost yardage play, and so it was 4th and 31, and Zach threw a touchdown pass to Kale on 4th and 31. So I can see why he would like that game a lot. But it was a good one too.
A good one it is, and going 4th and 31, to throw a touchdown pass, that's actually remarkable to hear, because once it's like 4th and long, you're usually punting the ball, and the other team's getting possession. But that's a team that does not give up, and that's Mount Vernon. Now we got to move on to the dark side of wins, and that is losses. You only had one loss to Seneca. So what was the most educational or learning game, and also the toughest game or the toughest loss you guys had to play, or educational loss you guys had to take?
Well, I mean, it was the end of our season, so it was very, very difficult to take. We lost 14-12. We failed to convert on two-point conversions, but it was just a really, really hard-fought game. I thought their defensive front played very well, and they caused us some problems. So we had trouble blocking those guys. We had trouble getting any kind of consistency on the ground or through the air. You know, in that game, just the stats that I can remember, we threw it 30 times. We ran it 25 times, but we just couldn't get any kind of consistency going in that ball game. I thought they played very, very well. Our defense played good. I mean, they gave us a chance at the end, and that's all we asked for, but we just couldn't quite convert there. They had 2 long plays in the game, but other than that, our defense did a good job. They threw a long pass that set up 1 touchdown, and they had a long run that we made this tackle on, but it set up their other touchdown. So I think, things that we can learn from there is that, you just never give up. And those are games that we usually win here. We take pride in winning those close ball games, so that was particularly hard to take, and it still stings right now. So I've tried to look back at the game and see where I can improve on and do better. And I know that our players coming back are doing the same thing.
Same question goes to you, Zach Jones and Cale Miller. What would be your most educational win or toughest, or educational game, or the toughest loss that you guys had to take, or educational loss as well you guys had to take this season?
I would say it was the Seneca game. It was very frustrating with that pressure that we had. We just had to keep going. We were down late second half, and we just had to keep going, keep fighting. We were close on those 2-point conversions, but just couldn't get it in. And to learn to keep going and keep your head up and stay positive and trying to lead when things were totally opposite of what you want them to be.
I definitely think the Seneca game shows that in our district or in the Big 8 that anybody can win no matter what your record is, and it shows how good our district is, and who you play doesn't really matter. You just got to bring it every night and not give up. Who you play against.
Bring it every night, depending on who you play, or each night you play on, is one testimony that you guys would preach there at Mount Vernon. And now you guys move on from the 2019 football season into the 2020 football season. What's it going to be different? What will be different for the Mount Vernon Mountaineers? Start up with Zach Jones.
I would say for the 2020 season, we lose a lot of specialty guys, some receivers, quarterback, some good guys on defense on the D-line. Just young guys stepping up. I think that would be a big thing. And just seeing guys take the most of their opportunities. I'll be looking forward to see how they do next year.
Also, same question goes to you, Coach Jones and Cale Miller. What would be the thing that will be different throughout for the 2020 season that was different from the 2019 season?
I definitely feel like some of those JV kids that are juniors now can step up to be a senior, because when you're a senior, it's the last year, and you definitely want to step up and play the best you can be, and just never take it for granted. Always play the hardest you can.
Yeah, I think this is Coach Cox. I think two of the biggest things that are going to change, these two guys won't be here. They'll be both playing at the next level, but so we'll have to replace them along with some other guys. But I take heart in the fact that the last 3 years, in 2017 we made it to the state championship, and last year we made it to the semifinals, and then this year we had an undefeated regular season, and each year we have our young guys that step up. 2 years ago, these guys, Cale wasn't even playing, and Zach was a JV quarterback. He stepped in, Cale came in, and things just went so well for us. If you look, Adam, at what these guys have done, in the last 4 years that they've been in the program, we've played 52 games. That's 13 games a season that we've averaged. We've averaged 9.75 wins each year. In the last 2 years, we're 22-3. And I was telling the guys when I talked to them after the game that is a 800% winning percentage, and that's better than the New England Patriots have got. And so they are going to go down, I think, as one of the finest classes and one of the finest teams in Mount Vernon history, and just couldn't be prouder of them. But I really look forward to seeing what our new team's going to look like with these young guys that step up and fill the role that these seniors have taken on, and just try to continue what we've started here, and because expectations are high for the Mountaineers.
Expectations are high for the Mountaineers, and what you mentioned was that was with an 800 winner percentage. That's actually higher than the New England Patriots. And so do you guys think you could take on the New England Patriots, maybe get a couple sacks on Tom Brady?
I'm going to answer for them, and the answer is no.
Answer would be no. So now with Cale Miller and Zach Jones going off to college, where are they going to be going off to college? Or have they signed their letters of intent to play college football?
This is Cale. I have not signed my letter of intent yet. I'm still looking who I want to sign with.
This is Zach. I'm still looking as well. Got a couple places in mind, but nothing specific yet.
What's kind of neat is that, just about every day here we've been having coaches on campus and wanting to talk to these guys. And so they're going to have some options, and that's what really all they can ask for. They both want to play. They both want to get a good education, and so we're excited for them. Looking forward to seeing what their decision will be.
Look forward is for this decision, or for what will the decision be for Mount Vernon's Cale Miller and Zach Jones. And also last year for Springfield Catholic, they lost a pretty good player in Tyson Riley, who's now playing for Army, and he will be taking on Navy this weekend. So what would your words be to Tyson Riley as he is about to play Navy in the Army-Navy game this weekend?
Yeah, Tyson, we've known Tyson for a long time. He actually lives here in Mount Vernon with his family, and commuted up to Springfield to play. And it's been fun playing against him. But I tell you, he's an incredible talent, and we're just we always wish him well, as long as he's not playing against the Mountaineers. And I really think this year that Army's got a great opportunity. They're not quite as strong as they were last year, but they've got some really, really good players, and they've got a good one in Tyson Riley.
Good player in Tyson Riley. And Cale Miller and Zach Jones, when you guys have seen Tyson Riley play against Mount Vernon last year, what would be your scouting report, and what would your words be to him when he takes on Navy this weekend?
our scouting report was just keep the ball away from him, run it away from him, throw it away from him. And as he goes on to play this weekend, I just wanted to represent Mount Vernon and Southwest Missouri.
I definitely agree that he's one of the best players I've ever played against, and I've been his friend since we were little, and I just love to see him play D1, and it's a great just show out for us in Missouri.
Bright shot for him in Southwest Missouri as he's playing now currently at Army. And so as we are about to wrap up for today, if there are any final words you had to say to the coaches from Monette, Nevada, Marshfield, Reed Spring, Aurora, Logan, Rogersville, Seneca, Springfield Catholic, and Hollister, and including the coach you guys lost to from Seneca, what would be your words to each coach that you guys have played of all 11 coaches?
I'd like to say that they were all good games, but maybe next year.
I'd like to say all those coaches, thank you for competing against us. Hopefully it'll be a better game next year, but to Seneca, thank you for competing against us twice, and we would wish we would have beat you guys, but good luck next year.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's pretty cool, and I would say to those guys, is just congratulations on so many levels, because coaching here in Southwest Missouri, and particularly in this conference, Big 8 East and the Big 8 West, is outstanding. And so we know that the success we've had the last few years, everybody's going to bring their A game against us, and we better bring ours against them. And so I should say, hey, be ready, because Mountaineers are coming back strong in 2020.
Mountaineers are coming back strong in 2020, and that will end today's show for today. We hope you enjoyed our show. We hope you enjoyed us sitting down with the head coach and two players from the Mount Vernon Mountaineers, and Zach Jones and Cale Miller, as well as Coach Tom Cox. If you'd like to stay connected with the Mount Vernon Mountaineers through their social media, be sure to like them on Facebook. Also follow them on Twitter. Their Twitter is at MV Football. MV for Mount Vernon, MV Football. If you'd like to stay connected with Ozarks Sports Report through our social media, be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, and check out our website. Our website is ozarksportsreport.wixsite.com/ozarksportsreport. One final time, we want to thank head coach Tom Cox, as well as Cale Miller and Zach Jones, for sitting down with us to recap the 2019 football season. And we'd like to congratulate Coach Jones on a terrific season at 10-1. For one final time, I'm Adam Smith from the Ozark Sports Report saying, have a good day, everybody.